I'm Terrence James. You're watching another episode of Neutral Reviews, where we believe your drive should always feel fun and never neutral, and where we go beyond the facts and feels and strive to find the fun in every drive. And today we have a brand new Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. I did it. Now, usually when we get a plug-in hybrid, fancy screens and modern tech, that is stifling for the fun that we want to have in every drive. But what we want to do today, and the big question is, with Alfa Romeo's brand focus on driver engagement and a peppy 285 horsepower engine that can rocket this 4,000 pound vehicle from 0 to 60 as fast as basically a new Civic Type R, did they keep that fun baked in? That's what we're going to test. So come take a look. All right, and off we go. So, first thing I want to do is give a shout out. Ooh, that's a good horn. That's a strong Italian horn there. That was unexpected. Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to Alfa Romeo and Maserati of London because they are true enthusiasts. They are supporters of the show and just cars in general. And it is amazing the level of customer service they have there. Sometimes you may think at a fancy place like that, you know, it may be stuffy and things like that. They are incredible. Check out their Instagram, see some of the testimonials from some of their customers. It's incredible how well they treat people. So anyway, let's talk about this vehicle they let us borrow in a little bit more detail. So we have, as we said, Alfa's first attempt at an electric vehicle. Now this is built on a front-wheel drive Alfa Stellantis Group platform, Europe, and then brought over here. So when we have the Hornet and we had the opportunity to take the base model Hornet out, which was amazing, I knew right away, I was like, wow, this thing is definitely European. This isn't you know, Alfa using Dodge. This is Dodge using Alfa. They got some really, really, really nice stuff. You could tell right away. Now this is a lot nicer in here, and we'll talk about that in a second, of course, being the Alfa. But yeah, no, it rides really, really amazing. It's great. Now it is a front wheel drive, as we said, but they have built it into a plug-in hybrid. So we've got, you know, your 12 kilowatt hour battery pack, which gives you a combined horsepower and torque of 285 horsepower and 347 pound-feet of torque out of a 1.3 liter turbocharged plug-in hybrid engine here, 4-cylinder. Now, with that being so, the Dodge actually in their plug-in hybrid has a few more horsepower and a few more torque. I don't know why the difference. I mean, it's going to be negligible when you're driving it. But yeah, just to let you know there. But yeah, it's a grunty little thing. I was quite surprised. This is more of like a high-level segment here, so we're not going to get into too much of these fun details. But yeah, it handles really firm and sounds pretty good. And when we talk about that, so you got your normal strut front, multi-link rear suspension, and also you're going to get upgraded. So when you can either get a Sprint or the Veloce here. So basically the Sprint is your basic one, if you could even call that for an Alfa, and then the Veloce here is going to be your upgraded one. But you're also going to get more base materials, more base equipment and things like that at there. But you're going to get the availability to get more options. So really, you know, the Tonale starts at a really decent price for nowadays. It's that Canadian average price, $50,000. So it starts off in the high 40s. And then if you want to go from the Sprint on the gas one, the 2 liter 4-cylinder, and go up to the Veloce on that one, it's not that much more money, actually, only a few $1,000s more. I'm going to put you around the $50,000 mark. And then again, it's not that much more after that to get the plug-in hybrid, which is nice. So for those that want that power and want the extra fuel economy and the option of having some pure electric range, you can do that, which is nice. So again, it gets up into realistically the low 60s there, and something like this is right around 70, but this one is really, really jammed up. So this is a good example. So you could get 20-inch wheels on this one, and maybe a couple other little things, but for the most part, this is pretty much it. So again, when you get the Veloce on this one, you're going to get a little bit nicer materials. You're going to have the option at the nicer wheels, bigger brakes. In Canada, you get a beautiful panoramic sunroof no matter what. You get the LED lights all the way around no matter what. even though we noticed in the trunk there, for some reason, they have like the old style bulbs inside the trunk and then the fancy LEDs on the tailgate. But anyway, I mean, all in all, your front headlights and your tail lights, that's what you got. And also, when you look at the Veloce, you just get, like I said, a little bit nicer materials. You're going to get the nicer leather in here opposed to the sport cloth. You're going to get the cooled seats, not just heated seats, things like that. And with the safety tech, I like how these companies are giving a lot of safety tech even on their base, even though like there's no such thing as an Alfa Romeo base, but you know what I mean. But you can, on the Veloce here, get upgraded so you can get the lane centering, which is nice. You can get the automatic braking. We don't want to test any of these things today. And the 360 camera. And, you know, and again, one of the things that I like in here on the inside is you get a decent amount of cargo space for a lifted hatch, essentially. It's only about 6 inches off the ground, maybe a little less, but also helps it drive nice. Gives you a little bit of an idea that you're, you know, driving something a little bit more high up, a little bit more visibility. And as you can see, the visibility is not bad. But all in all, yeah, it's not too bad. You're looking at about 23 cubic feet of storage with the seats up, and about double that with the seats down. You've got the spot for the skis, because it's European, or the 60-40 split for us Americans, and it does pass the hockey test, believe me. So you can put your hockey stick there in place of those skis. And of course, when you come to the back there, nothing too fancy, but the shape of the vehicle, I mean, most people like myself, 5'7", 150 pounds, I can fit back there, and I can easily put my Moose baby as well. And they do have some plug-ins and things like that, but again, you're not spending a ton of time back there. And you know, it's great for kids or, you know, small commutes. Like, and when you come up here, well, I tell you, this is where it becomes a little bit more fun and really nice, because fun things, you got the start-stop button here on the steering wheel. That's great. Look at these paddles. Like, this is like Lamborghini or something. And I know Alfa Romeo is that type of company, but I mean, I drove a Jaguar F-Type, and you know, Golf Rs and things have the worst paddles, and it's just so frustrating. That is my pet peeve, because as enthusiasts, I was just telling Chris, who we're going to pick up, our co-host, subscriber and friend, to see what he thinks and to try to find some fun in this vehicle, is when it comes to the paddles, I mean, they take our manual transmissions away on us. Well, give us some engaging paddles, please, because it really is like losing a limb, in the sense of, like, I went 10 years without driving a manual transmission, and I really, really missed it. And there's nothing like it. So if you take it away from people who didn't expect it, give them something engaging, please. Nice. I really like these. So I'm not going to bore you to tears with too many other details here. Let's go pick up Chris, and we'll go a little bit more in depth in here and show you some cool, fun stuff, and then take it to where this is most fun, urban environments. We're going to go to a local baseball stadium, which I think is North America's oldest and definitely our country's oldest, to see if this is a home run or not, for our final thoughts. So here we go. All right, off we go here, Chris. All right, so we got a couple minutes before we get to the baseball diamond here. So let's just talk about, you know, like some of the things that make this fun, because that's kind of the angle of the show. It doesn't necessarily have to be fun. Not everything has to be a sports car. What I mean is, like, do you actually want to get behind the wheel, even if it is going to its happy place here, which would be, you know, your urban setting. And for me, so far, I've enjoyed it. Like, I'm going to put it in, what is this, DNA for our traffic light Grand Prix acceleration test. So here we go. Yeah, see? I could just pass anybody in town when it's illegal. No, I mean, yeah. It's got plenty of, it reminds me of the CR-V. I didn't mean to cut you off there, in the hybrid one I did, in the sense of, it takes a second, but it does have some pep. But I like the way that this kind of sounds. Like, do you hear that?
Yeah, it's got a really good exhaust note. It reminds me of some of the previous Alfa and Fiat products.
Yes.
The 500 Abarth. It doesn't have the same raucous sound as one of those, or the Alpha 4C, but that DNA is definitely there in that exhaust note, I think.
Yeah. And when we talk about that too, DNA, I think from this little picture here, this has got the dynamic suspension, and I'm assuming this is a firmer one, and that was a pretty big bump, and it wasn't too bad.
No, it's quite compliant.
Yeah, but let's just, we got a bit of an open road, but see, you know, it handles pretty good. Like, it feels pretty tight. You know, you can feel that it is a little bit higher, like that it is
Yeah.
the lifted hatchback, and I think that's where I'm spoiled because I have a GTI, which is famous for being a sporty, nimble little hatchback. But considering that this is a larger vehicle, almost 1,000 pounds heavier, I don't know. I don't find it a problem anyway.
No, it's got, you've got that slight bit of body roll because of the extra height, but I think overall it still has that hot hatch feel, and I feel like that's probably what they were going for here, given that it's Alpha.
Yeah, it definitely feels more sporty than loose, that's for sure. Like the steering is firm, even in normal modes. Obviously it's got the Brembo brakes and upgraded 19-inch wheels and things like that, but
And those lovely paddle shifters we talked about.
yes, yeah, I am serious. I love these. Column mounted, like this is so cool. Like this is race car stuff.
And they make a nice click, I believe, too.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
my
pretty
PlayStation, which unfortunately actually has good paddles. A lot of these manufacturers, unlike Alpha here, should be ashamed of themselves. Alpha's done a good job. But yeah, like my PlayStation simulator has better paddle shifters than this. But one thing I like here is I'm going to put it in pure EV mode, because this is kind of why, in my opinion anyway, why I would buy something like this if I could afford it. I like the idea when I am in town here that I can go in pure electric.
Yep.
And I'm not using any gas. Not even necessarily an environmental thing. Of course, it's nice to save the environment, but just nice to save the pocketbook too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's going to be a key feature that we start to see as we move towards more hybrid vehicles, especially as some of the European cities have regulations regarding the use of gas motors in the downtown cores that are going to be coming into play. And
yeah, that's a good point.
It's nice to have that.
Well, at least you got the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And this is so nice. It's so quiet, but it's still zippy. Like I don't know. I just think it's great. All right, we're at the ballpark here, and it looks like it's closed. However, that's okay. So I'm gonna back in here so we can see our upgraded 360 camera. There it is.
Wow.
And the person on the bike that I didn't run over. You're welcome.
Yep.
You're worth a lot of points. All right. Dynamic lines. Nice, crisp, clear. Like, this is a nice... I really like it.
Yeah, that's a really nice camera. And it's got that EV whirring, spaceshipy sound when... Yeah.
Oh, I want to go back to that just for a quick second. One of the things that I like with this as well, and we're going to have to show it on the B-roll, but is the front camera. I think that's... Or does that front? Oh, no, maybe I lied.
No, that looks like a front. Yeah, that's a front camera.
Yeah, okay, there it is. It was just a different perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally think, I know nothing in life is free, but I think all cars, like how all cars by regulation have a backup camera, I think they should have a front camera, especially now that vehicles are getting bigger and harder to see out the front. I just think they're nice and handy.
Yeah, I agree, especially for some of the large trucks and stuff that are on the road where the hoods are taller than I am.
Definitely taller than I am. That's why I need a Mazda Miata or something. But in all seriousness, let us go and now that we've taken us for a drive, given some, well, this segment is really our rants and raves. I don't really have anything to rant about. As ironically, these paddles, as much as I love them, if I'm going to rant about something, because they're column mounted, I kind of have trouble getting at the blinkers and stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that's a complaint that I will happily have. I'd rather have good paddles than be difficult getting at the blinkers there. But the rave being that, which will lead us to our final thoughts, is that even though this is, you would think, a benign plug-in hybrid regulation type vehicle, to me it doesn't seem like that. Like, it seems like they've put an effort in to try to overcome some of that. So
yeah, I agree. They've put in a lot of effort to make it feel like an Alpha.
And that leads us to our final thoughts. That was beautiful. Okay. Now, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and check out one of our other small plug-in hybrid reviews so we can get more cool cars like this one and our upcoming review. Now, if you were in the market, as we said, for a small luxury subcompact SUV that you're looking to still have a little bit of fun in and be seen in, then I don't think that you can go wrong with the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce plug-in hybrid EV. I think this really is a great vehicle, and I think it really is a home run, and we'll just leave it there.
Now, the only way to find out if it's really a home run here at one of the oldest ballparks in North America.
Oh, you're not going to call me a bluff on this.
We need to see if you can hit my pitch.
All right, underhand, underhand.
We'll try not to.
I may or may not have been an all-star House League baseball player, and I may or may not have thought that I could throw an 80-mile-an-hour fastball and why he's pitching when really it was around 38. All right, so you might want to move back.
And I may not be a very good pitcher.
And I just like to say that this vehicle is a home run whether I can hit this or not, but it's a good send-off. All right, here we go. TJ T-ball. Nonetheless, we get to keep our ball, and this is definitely a home run. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.